What are some interesting or fun Christmas traditions you follow? My family has a special Christmas Eve dinner where every family member picks their two favorite foods and then we have a giant feast. As a kid I remember picking Totino's pizza rolls and Quest while my baby brother picked jelly beans and Lunchables. Dad picked fruit salad and ice cream. Mom was a champ and rounded it out with salmon and a cheese ball, so at least we had some protein. Now that we are older and have partners, the meal gets really elaborate. Less Lunchables though. I'm having green bean casserole and Sour Patch Kids this year. My mother has a 5 feet 8 inches tall singing Santa she places in her living room every Christmas. 10 years ago I had the brilliant idea of waiting till the first person in the house would go to sleep, and then pick up the Santa and place it in front of their door or inside the bathtub. The following morning you either hear a scream, or someone cursing out my name knowing it was I who placed it. To this day I still do that tradition, if you could even call it that. Granted, I can't do it every day because it would get predictable, so I'd wait a few days to do it on the next person. The airing of grievances is always on purpose. We sleep in the living room. Under the tree, green heart. Not getting together. My family has done this before it was mandatory. Who's cool now? My parents always did a full English breakfast on Christmas morning, early in the morning, so us 4 kids would gorge on sausage, bacon, eggs, mushrooms, tomatoes and fried bread and then open out presents. It's probably a thing a lot of people do, but it was always amazing. This is the 3rd Christmas since my mum passed. We lost my dad to cancer over 10 years ago. Now I live with my fiancée, and so I'll be up bright and early Christmas morning making her a full English breakfast in bed. My family occasionally does a home version of Secret Santa, and I'm a huge fan of. We agree on a price limit, usually $50, and then everyone writes a Christmas list of items less than or equal to that limit. We draw Christmas lists out of a hat, and everyone keeps that list to themselves. We get to pick and choose from that list, so it's best when each item is far less than the price limit, to encourage mixing and matching. Order the items, wrap them in privacy, and write our own names on the presents. Anyone who sees presents under the tree leading up to Christmas has no idea who they are actually for. Come Christmas, each person takes the presents they bought, and gives them to their recipient. You will always receive something you want, and the surprise lies in not knowing specifically what from your list you get, or from whom. My family has tuna fish sandwiches, chips, and strawberry pop on Christmas Eve. Don't ask me why. I have a lot, but one that I love and also helps the kids go to bed is the Santa whistle. My lovely children are like most kids, so excited and will not go to sleep or even want to go to bed. This is especially compounded on Christmas Eve, being as Santa is coming and we are generally out late doing other traditions. I decided to start the Santa whistle, and the best way to describe what I do is I whistle inward in almost a whistling whooping sound. The second the kids hear this, they know they need to go home and get to bed because Santa is close by. My daughter just turned 8 and every year it gets harder and harder to get away with it because, as you can imagine, they need to be within earshot of me but also not think it's me. I think I got one more year of magic in me. My mom was very poor with my baby sister at the time, and all my sister wanted was a real tree. Due to financial stuff my mom could only get the ugliest tree, but that year everyone complimented the tree saying how beautiful it was. So every year we get a Charlie Brown tree and decorate it. Here, in Transylvania, aka Romania, we bake gingerbread and decorate it. I'm not sure if others do it. I'm really sure others do it too. XD. Overeat, regret, repeat annually. Me getting ideas to start a new tradition. In 1990, my brother sent me a stocking, and inside amongst the good stuff was a package of hemorrhoid wipes from Kmart. That thoughtful gift spent the next 24 years being sent back and forth between us at Christmas time. I would have to keep track of it to make sure I didn't lose it for 11 months and break the chain. At least once it would arrive in its own packaging, as he must have found it later after mailing out gifts. Most of the time it was tucked in with something else or taped to a box. In 2014 he was diagnosed with ALS and moved into an assisted health facility. He cleaned out his house and got rid of almost everything except essentials, which didn't include the hemorrhoid wipes. He died the following year. We always had a good laugh about the traveling wipes. A few. When I was younger, my father and I planted a field full of evergreen trees in hopes that many years later, we would have our own trees for Christmas. The time came a few years ago, and now we each put a tree up that has been grown just for us from little seedling on. His is always huge. 13-foot tall living room ceilings make for a very tall tree. Our space isn't as big, but we still take back a tree. We pack up, drive to Grandpa's house, take a tractor ride out in the snow and cut down our new giant plant friend. A walk back to the house, use the baler to make the tree more portable and snuggle with the outside cats who join us on the trek. Then it's inside for cocoa and cookies. Growing up, we always listened to Paul Revere and the Raid as a Christmas present, and passed while we decorated the tree. It drove my mom a bit nuts, I think. When I became an adult, it was something I found myself really missing. The Christmas I got my own copy of the record, oh, I was overjoyed. Now my kids too request it when it's time to decorate the tree. My father also has a thing for making Christmas cookies in absolutely absurd amounts, and when done, they get passed out to every teacher, crossing guard, neighbor, family member and friend who could possibly want them. So each year we still gather at his house in the woods and make tray upon tray of sugar cookies, with my great-great-grandmother's cookie cutters and grandmother's rolling pin. The kids all gather about and eat way too many sprinkles and too much frosting. It's a giant mess. If love could be measured in Christmas cookies, I can't even begin to describe how blessed I would be. We always come up with weird things to gift each other. One year I bought a hamster ball and put a potato with googly eyes in it and wrapped it with hole poked randomly throughout the wrapping paper. When my sister unwrapped it, she thought it was real. When she realized she had been deceived, she busted out laughing. Still makes me laugh to this day. Edit, spelling. Thanks everyone for contributing in this post. It's indeed overwhelming to learn about so many traditional and funny, sometimes, things. It's a tough year, but let's hope for a new beginning next year. Happy holidays. It's minor, but I have an advent calendar with drawers that I got last year. Not liking the idea of candy every day, I used stickers instead. Last year my son just put them in a notebook, but this year I cut out a paper tree for him to decorate. I plan on gluing it on a whole sheet on Christmas Eve, and we can draw stars, presents, or whatever else we want. We keep missing days, but the good thing about stickers is that there's no harm in doing multiple at a time or even all at once. This is an easy one for us to keep up every year, although maybe as he gets older, he won't want to do it. Only time will tell. In my childhood, when making cutout cookies at Christmas, we had a limited number of cutters, and so my parents used one in the shape of a chicken and claimed it was a partridge, a partridge in a pear tree from the 12 Days of Christmas. My mom passed away 6 years ago, and the cookie cutters were passed to me. Well, I still cut out at least a few of the damn chickens each year. I think my brother appreciates it, haha. Every Christmas my parents and I cook for each other, each one serves one course, so that in the end we have a 3-course dinner. Beforehand we talk about who does which course, but what you're cooking in the end is a surprise. There were some fun combos the last few years, for example bruschetta as the starter, red Thai curry as the main course and a German yogurt/raspberry dessert. I guess some won't think of this as being fun, but my parents started a tradition when my brother was born to buy a new tree ornament every Christmas. As we grew up, we started choosing the ornament ourselves. He's now 23, I'm 18, and the tradition is still going strong. There's not much room left on the tree now though. We're not allowed to leave the house on Christmas Eve. We're not allowed to get dressed on Christmas Eve. We have to eat a buffet all day, and if you try and watch a movie that's not Christmassy, you become a human pillow. We never throw a party at Christmas because it's way too much effort. But we like party food, so every Christmas Eve we buy a bunch of party food and eat it in front of a movie. I get Chinese food because I am Jewish, as they are the only restaurant open. Wake up at midnight to open presents.